basketball player. He's not bad at a few things. And so one of the things that we're going to talk about today, because Blake owns Reber Financial, they do like custom fit solutions for small businesses on the controller and CFO side of things. And so we're going to talk about the SBA program and the PPP new rollout for stimulus funds that go with that. So Blake, fill in the gaps on whatever I missed there for intro.
Yeah, thanks for that great and loving intro. Really appreciated. No, like you said, so I have a small accounting firm that we focus on basically contract CFO work, contract controller work. And so, one of the biggest questions we've getting right now is just all this PPP, all this stimulus money, how do people access it? And that's everywhere from small businesses to independent contractors. Obviously, realtors fall under that umbrella. So, it's a big thing right now. It's everyone wants to make sure they're getting access to what they need to keep their business going and operations running. So, yeah, we can jump into it.
Yeah, if you're giving money away, people come running. I get it. Let's go see what we have to find if there's free money there. So.
Yep.
Give us the first who qualifies. We'll start with the small business aspect. So I have employees who are get a W-2 annually. Who qualifies for that money? What does that look like on the small business side first?
Yeah, and my internet kind of cut out a little bit. So you said employees who have a W-2 and
no. So if I'm a small business, what makes me qualify as a small business?
Gotcha.
And what am I asking for?
This program actually, it rolled out last Friday. There's $349 billion available for small businesses. So if you're a small business with 500 or less employees, most likely you're going to be eligible. And what they do, they take your average 2019 salaries. So the average, what you paid your employees, that includes vacation days, sick pay, health insurance.
Monthly, right?
Yeah, that's monthly to get your average monthly salary cost. Then you multiply that amount times 2.5%, and that's your loan value or your loan base. Okay. You're going to get that money as a loan. And as long as you spend that amount on salaries, utilities, rent, mortgage interest in an 8-week period after receiving the loan, the principal amount is going to be forgiven. So basically the entire amount is going to be forgiven because the loans are coming out at 1% over 2 years. So the interest is very minimal. There are some other caveats in there along the way of, what if I wasn't in business before February 15th? What if I'm in a seasonal business? A lot of other factors to consider. I always tell people everyone's business is different. So definitely consult someone else before filing. But
yeah, a good time to give the asterisk. Ask your own accountant, ask your own attorney. Yeah. We're also not medical doctors.
I'm not giving financial advice. Right. I'm just talking about what I have read and interpreting the laws and I spend a little more time reading this than most, so that's all this is. It's not financial advice, but definitely consult someone before filing. And how to file is a big question. So originally it rolled out, you needed to go to your bank and file through whoever your business bank was. They've actually changed that up a little bit because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of banks were saying we're way over capacity here. And so now if you go to SBA, I believe the link is this one's for the 1099, but it's 1099.sba.com, and they can connect you with the financial institution who's doing these loans.
For it.
But yeah, there's going to be somewhere else if you're a small business, say your bank says, nope, we're not taking any more applications. SBA.com is working with Lendio to find and connect people so that they can participate in this program, because it's limited to 349 billion, which that seems like a massive number, but
does that include both small business and independent contractor funds? Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't go as far as you think.
No, it doesn't. And so on the small business side, it can be as little as possible and can't exceed $10 million. And that's pretty much it. I think some people have started getting their loans. I've either been a part of, or I've said been a part of about 20 of these since last Friday, and I haven't seen anybody's money hit just yet. But I imagine that will start rolling out, if not this weekend, probably later or early next week. But it's not.
We talked about the digital dollar for the generic stimulus funds, but how do they deliver funds for the SBA PPP?
Yeah, that was the thinking of making you go through your bank, so that way the funds just are direct deposited into your business checking account.
Okay.
I imagine if you have to go to another bank that you're not, that you don't have an account, you'll have to set one up and they'll direct deposit it there.
Okay, cool. Good. So who qualifies? We kind of talked about how you access the funds. Another question that not only I had, but a couple of other small business owners, this has come up. So is this money taxable? But
it's not taxable. Nope. So it's 100% forgivable as long as you hit the qualifications, and it does not count as income, which is huge. I mean,
yeah.
Some of this is a lot of money. It's not taxable, but it's it's an incentive, and it's hopefully keeping people employed.
Right.
The idea is, with the amount of, I think there's on average $700 billion in salaries from small businesses every quarter. And so if we can keep that number high, the economic impact isn't nearly as great.
And so I'm a small business owner, maybe I'm an independent contractor. I look at my bank account and I don't feel that I need these funds, and I won't for the next 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12 months. And I just go, I'm not really affected by this pandemic yet. So why would I apply for it? Should I apply for it? What's the contextual obligation?
So
that you need it.
Yeah. Come out. Really, the only stipulation now is that the current economic climate brings uncertainty to your business, and you need this loan to support ongoing operations. So that's a really low bar to get over. I think everyone's going to be affected. We talked about it from a real estate perspective of, right now people, the pipeline is a much longer thing. So you're getting closings that you may have been working on and deals you had started 1 to 2 months ago. Yeah. And even longer. And so because of all this, you can't show houses, you can't, meet with new clients. Nobody's thinking about selling their house when they're stuck in, stay-at-home warnings. So that they'll really see the impact of that 2 to 3 months from now. And that would fit, it's the economic climate causes uncertainty. Funds right now, you may need them down the road because there'll be a dip in income. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. And if I'm either an owner of multiple small businesses, or maybe someone who works for a couple different companies and receive multiple 1099, so I'm an independent contractor with various or multiple companies, can I combine those together and do separate requests? How does that work?
Yeah, so you can combine them together. You think if somebody switched jobs, if switched companies, that kind of stuff, it happens. You get multiple 1099s. The caveat is you can't exceed $100,000. So as long as you're not exceeding $100,000, and
that's you can on the contractor side.
That's side, correct.
As long as you said yes, independent contractor.
Yes, that's on the independent contractor side.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not exceeding $100,000 as an independent contractor, so that ends up. So basically, the max is that's $100,000 divided by 12. $8,300.
Some
Yeah.
change. Yeah.
And then if multiply it times 2.5, that's,
Eight,
what,
16,
20, so
21-ish.
yeah, so call it 21,000 is going to be the max you can receive as an independent contractor.
Okay.
But yeah, you just need 1099s to prove that income. And then that's kind of been the tricky situation, with small businesses. They have to prove that they're paying that on salaries and all of that kind of expenses, salaries, utilities, mortgage, interest, rent. On an independent contractor, you're independent, you're sole proprietor, you don't have any salaries. So they say it just has to replace normal 1099 or self-employment income. Um, that can go a lot of different ways. They may just say, hey, here it is, under $100,000, here's your money. Or they could say, you have to prove that that you saw a loss in income. I doubt it.
Right.
But yeah, we don't really have a ton of guidelines and and proof on this stuff just yet. So
good stuff. All right, before we change gears, if somebody has questions, they need an accountant, they have a small business with no outlet for getting these funds, and they want to reach out to you, how would you direct people to get in touch?
yeah, just shoot me an email. My email is blake@reberfinancial.com, and Reber is RIBER. So yeah, shoot me an email. Happy to answer questions or to help. And yeah, we're all kind of working on some uncertainty right now, but we're
Sure.
doing our best to stay on top of it.
For sure. All right, now we're changing gears. So it's Friday morning, and Blake, among many of his small businesses that he's started up in the last decade, landed on one that is called sealbox.com, SEELBACHS.com, where you can go buy spirits from small distilleries around the United States. And correct me if I'm defining that in the wrong way. But so give us maybe a bottle recommendation off the site, and maybe some sort of mixed drink for the weekend, given that it's going to be on our Easter weekend here, maybe a little bit cold and gloomy.
Yeah. So bottle recommendations, there's a lot. I have my top 4. If you go to the front page, I always like the local guys, since we're in Jacksonville, like Manifest and St. Augustine Distillery. They're always great, as well as some other ones. Finger Lakes Distilling has a lot. New Riff has a lot of great bourbon. So yeah, check it out. Shipping can be limited, but yeah, and as well as cocktail recommendations. So my go-to is just nice, simple, old-fashioned. It's hard to screw up. You make some simple syrup, so it's just cup of sugar, cup of water, melt it down, let it cool. And then, 2 ounces of bourbon, add, half ounce. I don't like to get exact in the measurements. And then just some bitters. So stir it all up, put it over a big ice cube, and you're set. It doesn't get much easier than that, or much better tasting. So that's usually my go-to cocktail. I am far from a mixologist, so I need something that's pretty dummy proof. So it's like 3 ingredients, I can make that work. So
this is why I don't like the mixologists and the chefs of the world. They give me inexact measurements for things. I'm like, I need a very straight line in order to get this right, because I know I'm going to screw it up if I try.
Well, my recommendation is always you start with what it should be, and then you kind of start adjusting. Is it too strong? Okay, add a little more simple syrup, or stir with some ice. Is it too sweet? Add some more bitters, and you kind of play with it from there, and till you get to something you enjoy. So
fair enough. Good stuff. So again, that's SEELBACHS.com. Blake, you can go find him or shoot him an email. You said Blake@reberfinancial.com. Anything else that we missed on SBA stuff, on weekend drink recommendations?
I'll say one more. Just I think we mentioned it. I don't remember, but so if you're an independent contractor, it opens up this morning. So,
and today is Friday. If you're watching,
today is Friday the 10th.
The 10th, yeah.
So, I assume banks have already. And so
You
I
cut
would
out for
get
about
that
2
process
seconds.
started.
You said banks are, and then you
Can
froze. What was that?
banks are probably already accepting
Okay.
applications. So I would go ahead and get your place in line because yeah, it went really quick turning off their application forms early on the business side, small business side.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. And if you need anything
All right.
real estate related, feel free to give me a call, 904-405-1995, or via email, jeff@era.com. Everybody have a great Easter weekend. Happy Easter, and we will catch up soon.